Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for the week of July 20th to the 26th. So I'm doing all the signs starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. So let's see here. So Aries, for this week, I do feel that a lot of conflict within your life, especially with family members, are coming to an end, okay? So I do feel that there are major shifts coming through regarding your housing situation or in your housing environment. The people that you're living with, and especially the people that you're working with as well, they're starting to pick up their slack. So the time for you to, carry the burden of the world is over. So you don't have to play martyr anymore. And for this week, I do feel that a lot of downtime is going to be in store for you, so you can rejuvenate, regenerate yourself, and you're not going to have to put up with other people's slack. I do feel that people are stepping up to the plate to handle their own responsibilities, and as a result, you don't have to take on that extra baggage and care for yourself as well as others. So it's a very, very refreshing energy. I do feel additionally there are going to be plans in the works. There will be discussion for this week regarding long-term travel plans, especially the planning stages. And I do feel a lot of you are just like you're kind of anxious to start this. You're trying to get this plan off the ground, and I do feel financially it might be a little bit outside of your reach at this moment, but I don't feel the trip is happening for this week. I feel that it's something further down the line, and possibly around November, September, November, and so you have enough time to save up, and you have enough time, to get everything in order. And I do feel I would strongly advise you, don't try to wing it this time. Have an itinerary, have everything laid out to minimize the surprises, okay? I do sense at the same time that if there has been dispute or disagreement regarding just generally where it is that you want to go, if you're taking this trip with friends, partners, or even family members, that situation is coming to an end. In general, all conflict on the household, in relationships, and in friendships are coming to an end, and you're starting to see other people's intentions for you. So I do have like a lot of gifts being showered upon you, and a lot of people are coming to your way of thinking, okay? So it's a really nice celebratory energy, and I don't feel a lot of you are going to want to go out and celebrate with like big groups. You're more content staying home because your home environment has finally calmed down. So it's a very, very nice energy for you. I hope you enjoy your week. So Taurus, I do feel a little bit of money management is in order, okay? Balancing the checkbook, and don't procrastinate on bills. I do feel that it is really important for you to figure out what it is that you want to spend your money on, okay? I do feel a lot of like a lot of little things are creeping up. You're planning for a big major expenditure, and it's something further down the line, I feel, but a lot of the planning is happening for this week. So try to get everything in order. Take care of the big items first. It just doesn't make sense to start with the little things, even though the little things are the things that stress you out the most, and they're actually more fun to plan for. But I want you to not procrastinate on this and plan for the major things first, because down the line those are the essentials, and you're going to realize, like, possibly by the end of this month you might be a little short. So plan for the things that you absolutely cannot live without, and the little things will come into the picture, further down the line. You're planning for a major expenditure. A lot of you, it could be like a new car, it could be a new, let me see, it could be like a major party, and I do feel that it's some grand event that you really can't skimp on. So it's fun, but the planning stages is kind of starting to stress you out. So take care of the big things, and the smaller things down the line will basically, I would say, motivate you to save more money and to earn more money in order to afford those little things that you feel you can't live without for this moment, okay? So it's coming in, and I do sense that you're going to have a lot of help from outside sources, as to where to go, as to where to get the best deals, and you know, people can like name drop and recommend a few places for you, so don't distress over this process. I do feel as well, if you are in a partnership, there might be some imbalances coming through from the on the relationship front, okay? You feel like you're putting in a lot of the work, and the other party, whoever it is that you're involved with romantically, is it's kind of like nowhere to be seen. They're not even in the picture. So don't distress. This is just a temporary excursion on their end. They're coming back and they will meet you halfway, okay? So it's a very transient energy. It's going to lift by the end of this week, and you're going to be in a good place. So don't distress over that too much, especially for those of you who are involved with like water signs. I do feel that this person, they have some things they need to take care of, like a lot of bookkeeping things on their end. So they're kind of unresponsive at this moment, and they're kind of like having you doubting where you stand with them, but don't distress over it. I do feel you have enough on your plate, so their presence in your life right now would be a distraction more than anything. So they have things they need to take care of on their end, and rest assured they will come back for you, okay? All right, Geminis. So Geminis, I do feel family conflict coming through as well, okay? One other thing is that just keep your temper in check. I do sense that you're not seeing eye to eye again with a fire sign. And I do feel this is somebody that you rub elbows with, that you come into contact on a regular basis with. So it's really, really hard for you both to like understand where the other person, where one another's coming from in general. They don't really get you, and you don't really understand where they're coming from either. So just agree to disagree and move forward. This is something that I keep seeing in the cards for you for multiple weeks now. I do feel that in terms of the work environment, for those of you who are working in a very big institutional setting, with like a government, with a big agency, with a very bureaucratic type of system, it's going to be a little bit annoying because all these red tapes are hindering your progress on the work front, okay? What's meant to be, you know, to streamline the process and to make everything a lot more efficient is actually a really big obstacle to your progress at work. And I do feel like you know, in a bureaucratic environment, everyone has a very specialized role. So when you want one big thing done, everyone is like giving you the runaround, and you're just really frustrated. This energy is definitely going to pick up or alleviate by the end of this week. So I do feel that, you know, after that second, third, fourth time having to go to different people in order to like get a signature, for example, you're getting the lay of the land, and as a result, you're going to be an expert at navigating this bureaucratic, you know, red tape at the end of the week, and you're going to, if anything, be the voice of reason or the expert that others defer to when they have to do something that you had to do. So it's actually a really nice energy. Think of it as, you know, helping you navigate the land so that you can help other people the next time they're in a dire situation that you were in. So it is definitely going to alleviate by the end of this week. And I do feel that for those of you on the left front, things are going to be a little bit stalled, but rest assured that I do feel even starting as early as like Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, everything is going to be up and running again on the love department, okay? So new beginnings in love are going to be delayed, but I do feel that it's happening because you do have a lot of paperwork. I do feel a lot of paperwork that you need to get officials to sign off on, and a lot of things in general that you need to take care of, like logistical things, especially in the work situation and especially in the housing situation as well. Like I do feel that it's a little bit out of the norm for you. It's not just a matter of paying bills. It's like meeting government officials in order to get things like either notarized or documented in some way. So a lot of bureaucratic big institutions are in the cards for you for this week. Okay, so Cancers. Once again, I am seeing a fire sign popping back up in your life, and this is a fire sign I feel that you've been dealing with for quite some time. It could be somebody in, I do feel in a home environment or in a romantic relationship, okay? So one other thing I would say is if this is a past energy circling back in, you have to be very, very firm and decisive about whether or not you want to continue this relationship. This is a very important week for you to exercise your free will and decide once and for all what it is that you're hoping to achieve on the family and relationship front. I normally say that when it comes to family members, those are probably the most karmic relationships that we'll have in our life. So, mitigate your the effects by figuring out if it's like worth salvaging the relationship. I feel that it's going to be really important for you to do that. You are very mesmerized by a fire sign in your romantic sector. And a fire sign is an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. And this person is very, very flaky. They've been flaky in the past, and they're still exhibiting the same characteristics. And, a lot of people are very fun to be with, but after a while, when it comes to like the important things that you are kind of like needing their help on, they're nowhere to be found. So just don't make your life, I guess, don't wrap up your life, your hopes and expectations around this person because they are going to let you down again. And you really have to ask yourself, is the fun, is the thrill, is the excitement worth it? Because in the long run, it does corrode your self-esteem, and it also hinders your ability to establish like long-term relationships with somebody else who might be a little more stable, okay? So think about what it is that you want to do, and figure out if it's even worth it. If it's family, I would say, try to work at it. But if it's like exes and people external to you who have caused problems in the past, don't put up with the lip service, okay? Make sure, I don't feel that this fire sign has changed much since your last interaction. So just be careful and protect yourself accordingly. For those of you who are dealing with like issues with an authority figure, especially on the work front, or even like a landlord, I do sense that a lot of paperwork needs to be drawn out to. A lot of paperwork, or in general, are required of a lot of people. I don't know why. In terms of your dwelling, in terms of like your living situation, I do see that revisiting a contract or something like that is going to be required, okay? So keep that in mind, and make sure you are on top of things and read the fine prints, okay? So Leos, this is actually a very, very good week for you. You're kind of like being drawn out of your lair in order to enjoy life. And I do feel an overindulgent, but a really happy atmosphere is in the works for you. So even like the work week is not going to be problematic at all. You're kind of like bouncing from one place to the next, and there's a lot of people coming through that you have to see. So one of the main thing I do feel is like time is a huge constraint, so make sure you spend it wisely. And you're not drinking up until like 3 a.m. and you're hungover the next day because half of your day is gone. There's a lot of things to take care of, but it's a very kinetic, a very nice, soothing week. In terms of people seeing eye to eye with other people, in terms of like social interactions moving along quite smoothly, okay? You're also taking center stage in something. I do sense that you're kind of like an exhibitionist, so you're kind of like in the limelight, for good or for bad. So just, control the drinking. If you are in a social setting, make sure, I feel that you're going to be in the limelight. So if you're like drinking a lot and you're kind of slurring, that's not going to be good for your credibility. I do feel an element of like mixing business with pleasure, which is not a bad thing. A lot of you might have company functions that you're going to for this week, or like, barbecues or something that includes like family, friends, co-workers. So it's a mixture. So keep your head on straight, okay? So even though it's a very casual function, there's still that element of people that you're going to see in a work environment. that might be, so it might be unprofessional for you to let loose a little bit too much, so just control it a little bit, okay? Overall, this is a really, really good week, so I do feel a lot of work projects are basically finalized or they are being implemented. So either way, there's a very nice celebratory energy associated with the work circumstances. So if you've got funding for a project, then I do feel the office is going to have a celebration. If there is a completion of a project, I feel like things beginning and, well, things ending and then things beginning on right on the heels of the endings. So it's a very, very kinetic, busy week. So keep your, head in the game and try not to waste time, okay? So things have to be done in a very orderly fashion, one after another, like in succession. So keep your head on straight. You're going to be really, really happy, and you're getting a lot of support on the work end too. A lot of you have, I see interaction, a lot of interaction with foreigners, like people from a different country, people out of your geographical region, and even a lot of communication as well. Very swift, rapid communication regarding the status or updates on work situations as well. So things are looking very good for you. Let me see if there's anything else in here that needs to be addressed. Okay, so, yeah, sorry, that was it. So, Leo, have a very, very good weekend. All right, so Virgos. Okay, Virgos, a lot of you are coming to terms with past relationships, okay? And a lot of you as well who are in current relationships that have not been going smoothly. And, in love, it is really important to like not keep tabs, okay? And I mentioned this with the monthly reading as well. It's our natural inclination to like to like gauge imbalances and try to fix them, but when it comes to love situations, we should ultimately be the bigger person, and we should always try to give and love unconditionally. And I know it's hard, but ultimately, when we can truly love without strings attached or without like expecting anything in return, that's the highest form of love, okay? This concept of unconditional love is going to come in when you assess your relationships. And a lot of you are like hopeless romantic. You really want that idyllic type of relationship in which everything is harmonious. And, it's not realistic to expect that from our social interactions, and especially in love relationships. I do feel that a lot of you are kind of like assessing what transpired in the past, who contributed what once again. And a lot of you are very, very giving in love relationships. You try and try and try to make things work. And one of the things that a lot of like partners of Virgos would complain about is that you are a little bit cerebral, and it's hard for them to like it's hard for them to please you. If you can, if you go back and revisit or talk to an ex, the only complaint is that they will complain about not living up to your expectations. They're not going to complain about you never giving into a relationship or not doing enough to sustain the relationship, because you do a lot. But they're going to complain that you're picky, and there's nothing wrong with being picky. But just make sure that you accept the other person for who they are, okay? And I do feel that this sense of a disillusionment when it comes to past relationships, or when it comes to like accepting whether or not your current relationship fulfill your needs, is going to be in order for this week. It's a really relationship-oriented type of week. In terms of work partnerships too, a lot of you will not put up with imbalances in work partnerships anymore. You feel like you're kind of jaded at this point, and you feel that everything that happened in your life, you've done all the work, and for some reason the other party didn't reciprocate, or they didn't reciprocate enough, and you're kind of tired of that. So moving forward, you're just like, I'd rather be on my own than have to put up with all this BS from other people, because they talk big but they don't really follow through. So you're just really you'd rather be alone than be in relationships at this point, okay? And I do feel as well a lot of you are going to take a different approach in terms of relationship and work partnerships than you've done in the past. I do feel a lot of Virgos are just better at being in monogamous long-term relationships. However, for this week, something is going to spark your interest, and you're just thinking like, everyone has done, the casual dating. Maybe it's time for me to do that. So then I'm not overly emotionally invested and I don't get hurt. Maybe that's the best way to go. So you're actually thinking about, taking a different approach when it comes to dating, relationships, and things like that. And I do feel you're going to have a lot of success in this endeavor if you choose to date casually. I do have the King of Wands here, and you're exhibiting the characteristics of somebody like a fire sign who's very spirited, very enthusiastic, and ready to like tackle life and ready to really enjoy life. Okay, a lot of you could be involved with like a fire sign who is trying to break you out of your shell and who is not expecting like a heavy emotional experience from you. More than anything, they want to be with you, but they want it to be in a very lighthearted terms rather than, a heavy, burdensome, just emotionally draining relationship. So you're leaving the past behind. Your heart chakra is open. You know what you want to do now, and you're going to forge ahead and, casually date and see. You're going to be extremely selective, but you're going to branch out and date a lot more people, or at least give a lot more people who might normally not be your type a chance, just so you can say that I've done it all. Okay, so a new lease in terms of the way you look at relationships, a new lease on life is in the cards for you for this week. So it's a really good energy, Virgos. I hope you keep yourself safe and, protect your heart as well, okay? Because this is a new, I would say it's a new landscape that you're venturing into. So just take things slowly. Don't let your passion get the best of you. Okay, so Libras. Alright, so a lot of you are dealing with a water sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, and a Scorpio. And I do feel that this is somebody that you've been romantically linked with for quite some time, okay? There is going to be a very, I would say an open, honest, heartfelt conversation. So coming from the water sign to you. So I do feel this is going to provide like a breakthrough in the relationship, and you're finally starting to understand how much you mean to this person, this water sign. And I do feel that this water sign in the past might have been like, you know that they're very affectionate, but the communication style, like they're overly affectionate where you don't really know how to respond. So for example, they might lay on the compliments, and it takes you back because they might do it in a room full of people, and then you get a little bit embarrassed and shy, and you try to play it off, and then it hurts their feelings, and then they retreat within themselves, and then it's just like I would say like different communication styles when it comes to like displaying affection. So it's a little bit uncomfortable for you, but I do feel this person is making a comeback in your life, and there is going to be like I'm getting like a love letter being sent out to you, like an old-fashioned love letter, an old-fashioned declaration of love, like a very old-fashioned way of courting somebody that is coming through from this water sign. I do sense that if there has been like obstacles and things like that coming through from this water sign, there is going to be a moment of truce, and you're not going to fight anymore coming forward, okay? So moving forward, I do feel that it is a deepening of love with a water sign, and this water sign looks very good, looks very, very stable. So things are looking good for you. Let me see if there is something else. There might even be talks of like taking a trip together too. So the idea seems to be coming from this water sign to you, and you feel very ecstatic because taking a trip is a big commitment. So in general, I feel that they're going above and beyond, possibly planning this trip or inviting you on this trip as well, to because they want to spend time with you, and it just feels, it makes you feel very, very special. For those of you who are dealing with like a fire sign, this is an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. I do feel a little bit of strife is coming through for this week. You're not seeing eye to eye on something, and I do feel it might be the ways in which I feel like it's over. I feel that they might accuse you of being flirtatious, whereas you don't believe you are, and you might feel they're being flirtatious. So not seeing eye to eye once again in the way that you and your partner shows affection. Okay, so this is something, I don't feel like it's a huge blowout, it's a huge conflict, but I do feel whatever it is, if it's been like ignored, swept under the rug in the past, this is going to have to come up, and it needs to be addressed for this week in order for you to find balance again in all of your relationships, okay? So in the work sector, I do sense as well that a lot of you might be going in for interviews in which you have like in which you're kind of like in a group interview with other people, with like other interviewees, and you're trying to like compete for the limelight, okay? And I feel that you're going to be successful, but one of the thing is that in a group interview, you really want to stand out for your uniqueness. So it's not about getting the airtime, you know, it's not about like trying to see who can get the last word. That's not what it's about. You really want to stand out and use the time wisely so that you can like make yourself a little bit more memorable by saying something very unique, by doing something out of the ordinary, or you know, telling a story about your past experiences or something you've done that will make you stand out and make you very memorable to the interviewers. So in that situation, it's not about who gets the most airtime. It is just about who makes the best impression and who makes the most memorable impression and who can relay the best story. And as an air sign, you are a very good storyteller, and you have a sense of like very subtle sarcasm about you. So capitalize on that, okay, in interviews. So Scorpios, let's see. Okay, so love is stamped all over your cards for this week. This is very, very amazing. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, Two of Cups, okay, both in the upright position. So something is happening for you on the love front. Things are finally moving forward for you in terms of relationships and romance. And I do feel this is a romantic week for you in which you're starting, it's like a very strong soulmate connection. It's like the meeting of the minds where you can like telepathically understand what the other person's thinking. Like just one look from the other person across the room and you're going to like be able to read their mind. So it's pretty amazing. So for those of you who are single, it is a really dramatic week. So go ahead and make yourself, you know, available. Go out as much as you can, I would say. Things are looking very good on the love front, and especially if you are single, you are going to have like very strong emotional and spiritual connections. There's also like a lot of people are going to be interested in you and give you the time of day, especially Scorpio women. Get out there because you're going to attract the opposite sex in droves, okay? I do feel it coming through. You exude a really strong animal magnetism about you. I can't like figure out another word to substitute for that, but I do feel that women Scorpios especially, a lot of people are going to be drawn to you. As for male Scorpios in general, I do feel a lot of you might already have somebody in mind that you have a very strong emotional, spiritual connection with, and you're finally reaching out to this person, and you're finally able to like, I do feel like a deepening of love or taking the relationship to the next level. Even like exchanging vows, even like planning, you know, like a proposal, or taking trips together, or going to a place where you're kind of like alone with one another for the very first time. So if you haven't dated and you have somebody in mind, this is like that process in which you're asking them to, you know, go on a date, or if you've been dating, you're asking them to see you exclusively. So this is a very nice deepening of a love relationship. I do feel on the work front, a lot of things are going smoothly for you, and that's all I'm getting here on the work front. I'm not getting much else. So let's go back to the relationship aspect of it. I do feel that there is going to be a lot of success, okay? In terms of getting that person that you want, if you have your eye on somebody and, you have a lot of people to fend off on routes to getting to that person that you care about, you're going to have a lot of success. Most likely they're going to feel the same way about you. So, don't beat around the bush. Just go straight up to them and start a conversation, I would say. I do feel for those who have somebody in mind already on the periphery or who are in long established relationships, the communication barriers are definitely coming down, and there's going to be breakthroughs in communication as well. And what I'm getting here is not even about like communication with one another. There's a very strong psychic, almost like telepathic link where words don't have to be exchanged. You can look at the other person in the eyes and you know exactly what it is that they're thinking. You know exactly what it is that you can feel how they feel about you. So it's a very beautiful energy in terms of like deepening love commitments, okay? So work itself, not to worry. I do feel it's like 9 to 5 as usual for a lot of you, but I do sense that the love situation is going to, provide that little bounce in your step to help you navigate work situations. So it's sort of like because you feel really, really loved and you feel really treasured, it's going to permeate all aspects of your life. So work is just going to be a breeze, okay? And you have this glow about you that makes others just more drawn to you. So one other thing I would say is you're in a very amorous mood for this week, so try not to date too many people. If you have somebody in mind, it is best to use this time wisely to spend it with that person that you really care about to deepen your relationship rather than trying to play the field and date multiple people, because you're squandering a very, very good, strong soulmate connection for this week, and you might regret it, okay? So quality over quantity, my friends. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Okay, so Sagittarius. Okay, so first of all, there is going to be very, very fast communication. There is a lot of information pouring in to you regarding money. Okay, so finances are looking very, very good. At least they're stable, and at least there are breakthroughs. So if there has been like stall communication regarding a loan, regarding a grant, regarding things about employment, or even like pay scale, pay negotiations, all of that is coming through. There is like a breakthrough in communication on the financial front, okay? And for those of you who might have like been in situations where there was like conflict, there was strife with an earth sign, like a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus, I do feel for a lot of you this might be a child, your child. For a lot of you this might be somebody who's younger than you, but in general, if there has been like conflict in the past with an earth sign, this earth sign is making amends with you. They're coming to you with an offer, and it is really important that you cast your ego aside and take up on this offer, because I do feel like a lot of you, this is an ongoing issue, and you're being very stubborn. I feel that a lot of you are still stubborn going through this week, and you don't really know what to do. And just my advice is, life's too short. So when it comes to family situations especially, and this is what I also told Aries, I believe it was Aries and Gemini, life is just too short. So make the most of your time. Don't hold grudges. And when somebody tries to, be the bigger person and apologize to you, it is really important for you to accept the apology. If it's sincere, accept the apology so that you both can move on with your life. Life is too short to hold grudges. Life is too short to to act too proud as if you're better than other people, okay? So a sense of like self-righteousness needs to be checked for this week. We are all people and we deal with difficulties in our own way. So when someone is trying to be the bigger person and they're trying to come to you and they're offering, you know, their heart on a silver platter, it is really important to humble yourself and accept it, and so that you can move forward and you can release the other person of the burden, okay? I feel that a lot of you are going to be very, very stubborn for this week, and you're going to miss out on a very good opportunity if you're stubborn, if you feel like you're too proud to accept somebody back into your life. I do feel that they're trying really hard to appease you, okay? And everything, it's sort of like so an example is, so for example, you've been fighting with like an earth sign, and they're inviting you to some sort of event, and you're telling them like, oh, I'll think about it, let me check my calendar, and you don't have anything planned for that same exact day. It's like the universe is clearing up your schedule for you so that you can actually bring your butt to this event that they've asked you to come to, because obviously it means a lot to them. So don't be stubborn. If you're dealing with this, just put your pride aside and just don't be stubborn, especially if it's a family situation, okay? So that's the only danger that I'm sensing. Finances look very good. A lot of communication is coming through for you for this week, and I believe it was last week where I mentioned like travel opportunities, discussions with a family member regarding like travels. I do sense that the thing is, this stubbornness is overriding all the good things, blessings coming your way. I do feel that tears of joy are going to be shed this week, and this is a very good opportunity for you to heal and for you to mend the rifts between you and another person in your life that you've had extensive run-ins with, and you for some reason cannot see eye to eye. This is a very good opportunity coming down from the heavens to help you make amends and to help you both heal and move forward, okay? So I'm getting tears of joys are going to come from you, and you're going to feel like very, very appreciated by the end of this week. So be the bigger person, take up that offer and allow that person in your life so that you don't waste time. By the end of our lives, usually it's the things that we don't do that we regret, okay? So don't let this opportunity slip by, because you might regret it. I do feel that you know, it's only the span of a week relatively, but I do feel that this is a big hitter here for you. Is to first of all mend your self-esteem, and it's going to give an opportunity for healing and forgiveness from all parties involved, okay? And you're going to be quite happy actually. So just don't engage the other person in conflict. That's not their intention for coming back into your life. Just let things go, and just let you know, like don't talk from a place of ego is what I'm sensing here. So Sagittarius, I hope you make the right decision for this week, and put down your sword and stop fighting it, okay? This situation is getting ridiculous, so don't fight it anymore, okay? I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know how this plays out for you, okay? If you're dealing with this energy, I urge you to strongly just re-examine your past actions, and if it even, you know, like made a difference in the past. If it hasn't changed in the past, it's not going to work this time around. So do things a little differently. That's my advice, all right? So have a good week. All right, so we are on to Capricorns. All right, so Capricorn is back to life as usual. Like the routine is back, I feel. You have had a lot of disruptions in the past, especially for this month. For a lot of you, there are like annoyances imposed upon you from the external environment, from people outside that you've had to put up with. And finally, it's kind of like the energy is alleviating, and you're like back to your old routine. So it's going to feel a little bit strange, but it's going to be a very drama-free week, okay? So on the financial front, things are looking up for you. I feel a lot of money coming through where you don't have to like nickel and dime, you know, your expenditures, and you don't have to like you know, live frugally. So I do feel the financial, on the financial front, things are definitely looking up, and you have enough where you can splurge and treat yourself. And I do feel that after, you know, the first 2 weeks of the month, you're going to want to pamper yourself. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just go out, get a few friends together, and just, you know, go and have some fun. I do have like a lot of just mundane energies coming through regarding like the work front. There are projects that needs to be revisited once again. You've had to deal with that in the past too. But this is not something, you know, you are very on top of things, so I do feel this is something like complications caused by people in your external environment. And there's something that needs to be reworked. I do feel a work project needs to be assessed, addressed, and a relationship needs to be like revisited. And I do feel like I don't sense it's a romantic relationship. I do feel it's like a friendship, a family relationship. There's also like indications of like planning a short trip. Okay, this is not overseas or anything like that. I do feel it is a short trip, and you're trying to find the time to do it. So you're like checking through your calendar to see when is the best time, and this is a very, very good time for you to take this trip if you are so inclined. So a lot of like tying up loose ends is in the works, revisiting work projects and revisiting like friendships and relationships, okay? So on the relationship front, like romantic relationships in general, I do feel that I'm not getting like, a lot of you might be single, honestly is what I'm feeling. So let me see. There's a lot of Pentacles card coming through for this week. So it's hard to read into the love front regarding this situation, but I do sense that there's definitely a new perspective coming through. You're a lot calmer. I mean, normally you're very calm. You're an earth sign, and you're very like even tempered, but even more so for this week, a lot of you are very, very calm. A lot of you are just like starting to see the bigger picture, and you're going to release a lot of things from your life that no longer worked in the past, okay? So you're not going to control things. You're not going to cling on to things for emotional security. You're going to like release all the baggage from the past and let it go, because I do feel that, you know, for the first 2 weeks of the month, it has been a tremendously troublesome time, and you are kind of like you've reached that point where there's a shift in your paradigm, and you're able to let the past go, and you're not going to be so controlling, or you're not going to be so like bogged down with baggage, okay? And this could be physical baggage or emotional baggage. So all of that is, it's a letting go process, and because of it, you are going to like take off by the end of this week. I do feel that a lot of friends, a lot of family members, even like potential love relationships can just plop down on your lap. I do feel a little bit of a magician energy about you, in that you're starting to manifest the people, the types of relationships that you really want, and you're doing it in a way that's like serving your greater needs, okay, like your long-term needs. And I do see an energy of like trying to catch up and trying to tie up loose ends, which will require staying up a lot of late nights, but you're doing so in a happy mood. You're doing so happily because you're starting to see the bigger picture and what's really important to you. So I'm getting here this really specific energy for a lot of you. On the 31st, we have a blue moon in Aquarius, and this is a very, very potent blue moon. So a lot of you might be doing manifestations on this date, and I would strongly advise you to, you know, start planning. Think about what it is that you want to manifest, and wait for that the blue moon to come around. Okay, so I'm getting an element here of 3, 4, 5, 6, of 8, which is it's indicative of financial success. It's a big, powerful, transformative number. Okay, so make the most of it, and especially on that blue moon on the 31st of July. Alright, so now Aquarius. Alright, so Aquarius. Alright, so coinciding with the monthly reading, I do feel there is an earth sign person coming through for you. And an earth sign is a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo. And I'm getting that there is going to be negotiations regarding money, regarding payment, regarding compensation, okay? And what I'm getting is the people that you're interacting with, they're not going to lowball you. They're actually in the upright position. So if this is something offered by an earth sign, just take it at face value, because I don't feel that you can bargain your way, to increase the salary, increase the pay, or increase whatever it is that is coming through your way in terms of financial gains, okay? However, there's an element here that I do feel a lot of you have things on your plate. A lot of you are quite busy, and you don't really know what to take care of first. And there's a little bit of a tired energy about you, and you're just like you want to procrastinate for another few days before you make up your mind, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel the offer is going anywhere, so sleep on it, get a second opinion if you need to. I don't feel that offer is going to be rescinded anytime soon, so take the time off that you need. I'm getting here that if this is not a work situation, if this is an offer for something else, like just an offer from the bank, an offer from a credit card company, or something like that, like a settlement amount, that situation then needs to be taken seriously. And getting a second opinion and being very very nimble and quick on the offer is going to be required of you, okay? So do the background research first before you choose to accept or decline. That's going to be required of you. I do sense in general this is a big money week, and I don't feel any financial problems coming through for you. Like, even in the monthly reading, I don't feel that a lot of you are in dire strait regarding your finances, okay? I'm getting a very spiritual placement of cards here. The color blue is coming in very, very brightly. And keep an eye out for symbols, for signs to steer you in the right direction. And I do feel like a very, very, how would you describe this shade? It's a very, very bright sky blue. So keep that in mind as you navigate through this week. Maybe somebody's wearing like a blue shirt, giving you an offer, or somebody else wearing a red shirt, and you're thinking about which offer to take. Go with the blue. It's a very, very spiritual color as well, and it does indicate ascending to a higher vibration. So it's a nice color for you. In terms of love relationships, I do feel that. Let me see here. So in terms of love relationships, just exclusively love relationships, a lot of you have to seriously assess what it is that you want out of your next relationship, because I do feel that you're jumping the gun on the love department. You might fly off, with somebody, like you might be swept off your feet by someone in the past, and you're thinking about going off with them, and they don't really meet all your expectations, okay? So this is not a good week for you to compromise, because I don't feel that it is going to end well. They might end up disappointing you, or you feel that you're on the same page but nothing was properly addressed, and you go off with them, and it turns out to it seems like they thought that you agreed to date casually, whereas you think that you're dating exclusively. So it's a difficult situation. So make sure whoever it is that you're dealing with, both of you are on the same page, because I do feel like disagreements can potentially come out for this week regarding love relationships. For those of you who are involved with an earth sign, like it could be their sun, moon, or rising, on the romantic front, I do feel that there is going to be talks of starting a new endeavor with an earth sign, okay? This earth sign is very, very pensive, and they're trying to gauge your potential. So things are going to be like at a snail's pace if you want to do anything with them. So don't jump the gun. Don't push for commitment. Don't rush this process, because you know the joy of dating is like the first 3 months when you try to get to know one another. So don't bypass that and just get into a physical relationship and then have them run off on you or scare them off, because they're worth waiting for. So just be slow about the courtship and enjoy the courtship, because that in itself is a very thrilling, exciting time when you're still trying to gauge the other person, when you're kind of like in that puppy love stage and you don't really know how they feel about you. That's what makes it exciting. The unknown is what makes it exciting. So, just draw out the courtship a little bit, because I do feel that you might be impatient and you might jump the gun this time. A lot of you too are planning a trip with somebody, one other person I'm feeling. So it looks very favorable. I don't feel the trip is going to happen yet. I'm getting like another 2 weeks, another 2 months is when this trip is going to come into the picture for a lot of you. And I'm sensing it is going to be something that needs to be planned meticulously, okay? So keep that in mind. You're facing a very like long, perilous journey is what I'm sensing, but you're going to have the power of planning to mitigate anything else that can go wrong, so you're going to be okay. I do feel a lot of you are traveling by airplane, by air. And there's also an element of water, but I don't feel that is going to be troublesome. But keep in mind that I do feel that planning needs to happen, and you have to do the planning. Don't let somebody else do the planning, okay? Because most likely it's not going to work. So I do feel that an Aquarius planning a trip, you're a fixed sign, you and Scorpio and Taurus too. You and Scorpio especially, you plan trips very meticulously, so make sure you do the planning, and don't push this responsibility onto another person, or don't let them plan this trip without you or for you, because I feel complications might come through that they don't really anticipate. But you have the power of getting information out of the blue, like a lightning bolt just going off in your head. So you can anticipate all the things that can go wrong, and then you will find ways to mitigate them, okay? So if this is a planning process, once again, don't let other people plan it for you. I do feel that for a lot of you too who might be dating, and the relationship itself, for some reason there's an element of long distance associated with it. And there's also, like communication via, not face to face, but like via Skype, via email, via snail mail for some of you. I do feel that this is you're planning to see this person in real life, or the other person is like, you're getting word of the other person coming through to see you in real life. If you are dealing with this exclusively, I do feel that coordination, coordinating a time to meet, is going to be a little bit difficult, so don't despair. I'm going to pull out another card and see what's going on here. I do feel that if there's communication, yeah, so going back to what I mentioned, when you're dealing with people for this week, don't push things, okay? Just let things play out in their own time at a snail's pace if needed. Don't push things, because there is a time and a place for everything. So when you push things, the other person might not be on the same page as you, and it can cause problems. It can cause possibly embarrassments. And make sure you show up where you're supposed to be, or if you're not supposed to be where you are, then make sure. And what I mean by that is don't show up unannounced. So for example, if you are casually seeing somebody and you're just like, oh, I bought some food and I really want to surprise this person, keep in mind that you're seeing them casually. You don't have a right to ask where they are. You don't have a right to ask their whereabouts, because you don't have that, you haven't like reached that state where you're both seeing each other exclusively yet. So don't show up unannounced, okay? That's just good manners in general. It's kind of rude to show up unannounced. And you might stumble into a precarious situation. So make sure you are clear, or other people are clear, where it is that you are going and where you're supposed to be, because in love relationships, people might be on the same, might be on different pages here. Okay, so be clear about that and take things extra slow. All right, so the last one here is we have Pisces. So Pisces, I have two people coming in for you, an air sign and a fire sign. And I believe one of the weeks I told you that the air sign looks more favorable, and the fire sign is, I do feel like the fire sign is kind of coming back in and the air sign is kind of leaving. And up to you what you want to do, but I do feel that on the relationship front, something has ended and something else is coming through. Okay, so it's it could be an air sign exiting, fire sign coming through, or an air sign, you know, coming through, fire sign exiting. But the air sign and the fire sign. So the air sign is the Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The fire sign is the Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. I do feel a lot of you have been feeling very, very let down, okay, by both signs. And you don't really know what you want to do moving forward. And you're just kind of like feeling a little numb and a little jaded on the love front. So my advice is take some time off and, you know, scrap those relationships and just spend time to pamper yourself. That would be my ultimate advice here. I do feel that on the home front and on the work front, things are definitely coming to like they're de-escalating. Conflicts and things like that have been de-escalating. A lot of you might have recently like chosen a new place to live, and you are physically moving out of the old into the new home situation for this week, and it looks very nice. It looks very, very stable. Do have the Four of Wands here, which indicates to me like it's a very, very stable foundation that you're setting up for yourself. For those of you who might have like moved offices or transferred into a new work situation, I do feel that it's going to take a few weeks for you to get the lay of the land and to get used to the new work situation. But you're going to be okay. And I do feel an element of 1 month here, in which you know, you're going to like be able to get used to everything. So right now it's a little bit it feels like you feel like very rattled, and you feel like kind of uneasy about the transition process. But in 1 month you're going to be okay. I do feel here that a lot of you are reclaiming your power, and I do sense in the past. So you know, Pisces is ruled, when you look at the symbol, it's indicative of the two fish swimming in opposite direction. So like a lot of you tend to enter relationships because you feel strength in numbers is what I'm getting. And one of the strongest energy coming through for this week is you're getting urges or nudges from the universe to reclaim your power, okay? And what I mean by that is like I don't feel as if you're putting up a wall around you to protect yourself. I don't sense that, but I do feel that reclaiming your power means that being happy on your own, being very comfortable in your own skin, but also trusting that you have everything you need in order to make the right decisions in your own life. So you are standing firm on your own. You don't need others to build up your strength, okay, or to feel strong, is what I'm getting here. So it's kind of like whoever it is that has hurt you and that has, you know, that you've given your heart to, I do feel that the new lesson for you is to put a lock on it and hold the key to your own heart. Whoever comes along, they're going to have to go through a very extensive screening process before you give them the key to your heart, is what I'm getting. So it is really important for you to be on your own at this moment, because I do feel like, you know, for the past month as well, there has been a series of people coming and going on your romantic sector, and you don't really have a moment's peace. So take some time off for yourself. Stop dating if you've been bouncing around one relationship to another, and focus on healing yourself. Focus on, you know, doing things like creative activities, creative endeavors, drawing, singing, you know, meditation, yoga even, and even swimming. I'm getting like swimming lessons and things like that. Do things that make you feel enjoyable, or do things that make you enjoy life a little bit more. Do things that are enjoyable. Excuse me, I can't speak. So that is going to help replenish you, okay? Because what I'm sensing is you're feeling very depleted emotionally and spiritually because of a series of exes, new people coming and going in your life, and things get a little kinetic and frazzled. So it is really important for you to refill that cup back up by doing the things that you enjoy, doing the things that pamper you on an emotional and spiritual level. So once that reservoir is filled back up, that's when you're ready to date, and that's when you will attract people of higher caliber, okay? So take some time off to heal yourself, and the rest will fall into place once you're ready. If you're operating from a place of, you know, metaphorically like an empty cup, you have nothing to offer, which means that you will attract like low vibrational energies and people operating from a place of like neglect and need, and you don't want to attract those types of people because it doesn't bode well for a long-term committed relationship. So take care of yourself first, pamper yourself. You know, play the hermit for this week. Entertain friends at home because the home situation looks very stable. In terms of relationship, it is going to be like, you know, I see like a stream of suitors, people coming and going in succession, which is not great. We do need some time to heal in between relationships, so take some time off and, you know, slow down on the dating front. I rarely say that, but I do feel that it is essential for you because you're kind of like chasing your own tail at this moment, going around in circles, and you're wondering why, you know, your relationship don't last. It's because you're going through life without like introspection. It's kind of like that expression, you know, a life unexamined is not worth living. So take some time off, you know, put relationships on the back burner for now because you're like the fish chasing its own tail, okay? It leads to, it doesn't lead to anything like long-term stable, and it doesn't allow you to rest and adequately heal up, all right? So Pisces, take some time off, slow down, and take care of yourself. Go to a spa, get yourself, you know, pamper, get treatment, surround yourself with friends and family members who have your best interests at heart. I do feel like a celebration is coming through for you. Like a wedding, a major like event in the household, like a very big celebration regarding to a home, possibly like a housewarming party, or even like a marriage, a bridal shower, an engagement party. And when you go to these things, you're just going to be reminded of the lack of stability in your love life. So you're kind of dreading it and you don't really want to go, and you might like be afraid to run into exes, and you might be afraid about, you know, this just confrontation, and there's an overall like a little bit of sadness associated with your love life. So just keep that in mind. Don't chase your own tail. Take some time off between, you know, to adequately mourn the end of one relationship. Take some time, and then when you are truly, truly ready and you're operating from a good place, then you can go ahead and look for another relationship. But don't rely on other people to fill up that void in your heart, okay? So like at the end of one relationship, you end up with like an empty heart. You have to do the work to fill it back up before you can give your heart to another person. So take adequate time off in between people that you date. Don't date in succession. I've been seeing this for multiple months now, and this message is finally coming to me. Don't chase your own tail, okay? Don't do it. It's not worth it. Take some time off. So I hope you enjoy yourself at this function, and keep me posted. Let me know how things play out for you, okay? I wish you the best of luck for this week. Take the week off and try not to date this week. It's going to be more trouble and more draining than it's worth, okay? So thank you so much for viewing, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful July 20th to the 26th. I will see you possibly next week.